So this is kind of my work area, studio / editing suite / distribution center. So we're based in Brunswick Business Park in Liverpool, like near the city center. And this is where I hold the products, do some haircuts, do some photography obviously, and then edit a lot of my videos and stuff like that.
Now you feel yourself more like entrepreneur or a barber. So what is what is your vision of yourself now? Who are you now?
I think I've always been a little bit of an entrepreneur. So I mean, I've done the shop. First shop was 4 or 5 years ago. Before that was the pop-up shop. So it's kind of just always just taking that chance, taking that risk, and starting new businesses. So I'm still a barber first, definitely. It's like what I've done since I was 16. But then the business thing is what excites me. So it's kind of getting that balance in between. So as I'm not cutting hair as much anymore, which is difficult to work full-time behind the chair and then still run a few businesses. I think I'm, barber first, but right now an entrepreneur. Hopefully I can go back to being a barber full-time eventually.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is it your car?
Yeah, I got it clean today actually. It still looks a bit, I'm looking at it now, it's like they didn't wipe it properly, but it was so dirty before.
So you started to cut when you were 16, and when you were 27, you opened your first barbershop in London.
I think I was about 27. I think it's 26. I went traveling, did the Nomad thing, and then got the pop-up shop, and then got the keys to the first shop. It was all kind of just improvised. Had no money really, just kind of did it. And then it's gone from there.
You started when you already started to travel, or afterwards?
Afterwards. So the plan was to get the traveling out the way, and I'll be done with traveling. That was the plan in my head at the time. And then I'll open the shop. And then it just became still having the shop, actually having 2 shops, and still traveling just as much.
And how the idea about traveling came up in your head? So how did you came to this idea?
I think I was trying to think of ways to travel and not kind of disappear from being a part of the industry. That was the main focus. So an idea was started in my head about traveling and doing a blog, doing haircuts in cool places. Just thought I'll just start posting about these places. And then I started to look at barbershops around the world that I could visit. And there weren't much videos or information about this online. So I was like, what better way to find out than go and document it myself? So I was just combining travel, barbering, and film and photography, which I also liked, just putting it all into one project.
What was the day when you realized that you are like a famous guy and celebrity, that everybody knows you? No?
I mean, I get embarrassed at stuff like that. Like, I know there's people who they were born to be like that, and they somehow know that. I mean, they think they're a big name, and they like the glory and stuff. But if people recognize me, I get shy and like go away. I'm a bit embarrassed.
So you don't like it that much?
Yeah, it's not. I don't like it. I like the recognition, but I don't recognize myself as being like that. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever changed. But I think it was when we were traveling and we were kind of cut off from the world of social media for a few months, going around like the Middle East and India, and then we made it to Singapore. And suddenly there were 30, 40 people turning up to this one shop to get photos with me. And I was like,
wow,
what's going on? Hit up the panic room in Singapore, and it was just like, that's when we kind of knew the project was doing well on YouTube.
So what is the place where we are now? We are close to the sea?
Yeah, so if you just walk on the other side of that building, you've got the river, the River Mersey. Where the Beatles used to sing about quite a lot. There's a thing as well. I think you had the song "The Yellow Submarine," the Beatles song.
Yeah.
We are
in the Yellow Submarine.
I think there actually is a yellow submarine here somewhere, but like a fake one or.
Yeah,
I don't
understand.
know.
It became very popular to be a blogger, to make YouTube channels, and to dream about the popularity, but not many people knows what to do with this popularity and where to direct it. and some of them becoming just stars and start to feel glamorous. And other people use it like a marketing channel and use it for moving the business forward.
I think there's a fine balance between the different ways you can utilize it. So if I was just to go purely marketing on my YouTube channel, it would just lose all of the organic vibe that it had in the first place. But I need to market sort of, organically on there. Like either it's about the products or about the shops, or about just the travel videos. So it's like getting that fine balance in between, because I'm not a vlogger as such. I don't have advertisements constantly. So it's just, it's getting a fine line between the different things and making it work for you.
Tell us a little bit about the product. Maybe you will make a small presentation. What do you have? So
we started with a pretty standard range, actually. We started with a clay, a paste, a pomade, and a cream, and also obviously the salt tonic as well. That's like the important part. So I wanted to cover all bases in terms of a style and range. I wanted people to be able to create any type of hairstyle that they wanted with, a set of products, basically. And it took me so long to bring out because I was never happy with what the results and stuff. I wanted to be perfect, basically. I'm a perfectionist, so unless it was working out well, then I didn't want to bring it out. So a lot of it's inspired by travels in terms of look and feel and texture, names even. So the Terai valleys, that's in Nepal.
And the fragrances?
Fragrances are kind of travel-y inspired. So if you look at some of them, like the Kappa, it's a bit of a lemony vibe. So I resonate. When I think about Turkey and Cappadocia, I think of lemon and the lemon fragrances from the barbershops with the splash on your head with the alcohol. Little things like that. It's not necessarily like this is an exact fragrance from that place, but it's kind of like a little taste. Yeah, you know what I mean? I just mentally associate with it. And just little things like Arica. That's a place in Chile, in the northern part of Chile. It's one of the driest places in the world, near the Atacama.
The driest places, so that's...
so it's a matte paste, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And things like this, like Apfel. Apfel is apple in German. It's not doesn't smell like apples, but traditionally pomades were made out of apples and bear fat. So just little things like that. So just putting a little bit of inspiration into like a really good, well-rounded product range. That's the clay.
And what is the name on the clay?
So the clay is the Terai, so the Terai valleys. So in these valleys in Nepal, you have like these clay residue in the bottom of the valleys. So it kind of came from that. So again, it's not the actual clay from the valleys, but it's just inspired by those places.
Yeah, it's understandable. And Atacama?
Atacama is the Atacama Desert, so that's in another part it's another northern part of Chile, so that is the driest desert in the world. And you have these natural salt springs there where you can go and like float in the water. So it's a salt tonic, Atacama, dry, matte finish. Works well.
So do you have like people in England argue what is better, BMW or Mercedes?
I think people argue that all over the world, don't they? But I don't really care. Like I'm gonna get rid of that maybe and get a small van soon, like a little camper van. That's probably the most luxurious thing I've ever bought for myself.
This one.
Yeah, I'm like a simple guy. Apart from I spend money on camera stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pricey.
Yeah.
Speaking of entrepreneurship or about barbering or about you personally, I think that we have to speak about what is the dream, because I think entrepreneurs and creative people, they have to dream big and then they have to make these dreams come true. And the whole idea and the whole concept of my video blog is to to deliver some values for barbers in our country. So if you don't mind, I would like you to give some recommendations or an advice or the idea for barbers to inspire them to dream big and to follow the dream and work as hard as they can. So a couple of words, motivating for Russian barbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, don't think people should focus just on barbering. Do you know what I mean? Like barbering it's our job, it's our career, it's our love, it's our passion, but it's not the only thing that's going to create happiness in your life. So you can use it as part of the journey, or you can use it, if you focus too much on that, I think you're going to get wrapped up in the industry a little bit too much, and then there's like this false sense of you need to be valued and recognized on a stage or in a place doing this, or you need this amount of followers, and it's not about that, you know what I mean? It's enriching your life on a whole another level. So like my dream is to, it might be crazy, but have stores all over the world. Maybe not necessarily barbershops, maybe like a product range stores like Aesop or Kiehl's or something like that with a barbershop in. But then I eventually want to be giving back and doing charitable things. So I want to be wealthy because I want to help people, if that makes sense. That's the only reason I want to be wealthy. And that's my goal, and I don't think I'll stop until I get there. So I think when it comes to like building a dream or working out what you want to do, it's kind of just focusing on it, and just don't let anyone tell you otherwise, or let anyone tell you no. Like it's a stupid idea. I mean, it might be a stupid idea, but don't listen to them. Work that out for yourself. You know what I mean? So people laughed at me when I first said I was going to go around the world and document barbering, and they were like, "Oh, you're not going to do this, not going to do that."
Yeah,
I did it.
So you don't have to listen to people when they put barriers and say, no, it's gonna work.
Especially don't listen to people who've not done it themselves. You know what I mean? Like someone might say, I'm gonna open a barber shop, and like their friend will say, you can't do that. You don't have experience doing that. It's like, well, have you opened a barber shop? No. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, don't listen to, because there's certain people in your life who want to drag you down and don't want you to be successful because they don't want you to be better than them. Not that you're a better person, but they don't want you to do better financially, or, hit the goals you want to hit, because they're not happy with their lives. So just focus on what you want to do and be happy.
And strive for the excellence.